Welcome to Titans for Life. My name is James, otherwise known as Big Sportsman on YouTube. Thank you for joining us today. This channel is dedicated to the Tennessee Titans team and the Tennessee Titans fans all over the world, wherever you may be. I ask only one thing on this channel. Be nice to one another. Help each other out, learn the game of football, and understand the game of football. If you're a fan of another team, come on in. You know, you might take a ribbon here or two, but, it's nothing serious. Like I said, we try to be nice to one another. And if you have any questions or comments, hit it down below. Remember to like and subscribe, man. I need some subs. Like and subscribe. And as always, I want to thank Titans Rossi, Titans Upload, Titan Upload Network, Lee Hill 615. Titans in Truth, and Titans Anderson for inspiring me for doing all of this stuff, and my family for putting up with all of this. Today I want to get with a little bit on what I know about Derrick Henry and what's going on with Derrick Henry. I discussed his tape. The Titans put out a tape with him out at practice with some people who are doctors and orthopedists and doctors and orthopedic surgeons. Now, once again, I want to say I am not any of that. I don't have any training, no expertise in it. But from a lay eye, from someone who's came back from surgery on my shoulder, and seeing other people come back from foot surgery, where I've had foot surgery before. And, I know little things to look for, talking about the gait, pushing off and things like that, learning to trust, that whatever's been done has been done correctly and that you're good to go once the doctors release you. So when when I'm talking about this, what I saw with my own eyes, I'm talking about with my own eyes. Then I discussed it to see what all this meant. So at this point, it's time to keep it real. When I was watching the video, I watched it, I don't know, probably 15, 20 times. I would guess. I'm guessing there. I don't know how many times I watched it. I played it over and over. It was just a few seconds. It wasn't very long. They didn't show a whole lot of things, but that I would want to see if I was on the field and a coach, or on the field trying to analyze how he's doing. They didn't show a whole lot. So, but I did, on some of the things, I did notice that he was slightly favoring the surgically repaired foot. And I don't want to say it was, an obvious thing, but it was obvious enough where I was like, okay. I was advised that most likely what they were seeing is maybe a little soreness, because he'd been practicing, he'd been working out and doing some things with the foot and getting it back, getting it ready, for a couple of weeks, and that this is most likely soreness from actually doing real football activities, making a lot of cuts, making a lot of things like that, and that the first few times he did that for several days, it's going to be sore, because the foot has to get used to being used that much again. It wasn't used that much for several weeks, therefore it's going to be a little bit sore. It's like when you go to work out and you stop for a little while. Say you stop for 3 or 4 weeks, stop working out because you go on vacation, or you're sick, or you're something like that, and you don't work out, and then that first time you go back to work out, you're sore. You're like, man, I don't ever remember being this sore. Number one, it's probably because if you're my age, you're old. But for younger folks, what it really is about is that your body has adjusted to the few weeks where you didn't do all those things. I was once told by the surgeon who did my shoulder. He told me once that the first after you don't use a muscle for the first 10 days, it begins atrophy. So it begins to shrink up a little bit and and so that when you start back up, it takes a few weeks for it to build back up and get back strong again. And that building process is going to be sore. It's not to mention it was just a major, I say major, but it was a surgery where they opened it up and they did some things to it, so it was going to be sore anyway. But that type of soreness, the surgical soreness, would have gone away within a week or two. It's the recovery process of the bone healing, the screws setting, the plate being adhering, and all those things. Those are soreness. And during that whole time, he's doing all of the physical therapy and all that kind of stuff. So he's doing it. There is some movement going on in there, but it's a difference between some movement and actually working out, getting those things done. So that's where I think he is. That's how I think it's coming along. And that's what I think, I saw, and what they told me that they had saw also. Sources are saying also that Derrick Henry would have actually been good to go in the game physically. He would have been good to go in the game and would have been cleared for the game this last week had he needed to go. But the Titans didn't feel they needed him. They really wanted him to sit aside a rest. He was kind of wanting to go out there too. But at the same time, the Titans sometimes have to protect, sometimes coaches have to protect players from themselves, what doctors were telling me, what the doctors were saying, that if he were to go out there, it would have been more about pain management, how to manage the pain, how to, work through it, because there's going to be some pain, there's going to be some soreness, and he would have just had to have kind of worked through that and manage, and the Titans would have had to manage that pain. But I was also told that with extra days, the extra days in practicing and doing all the things that he would be doing during a regular, game setting, that the soreness will most likely decrease and be completely gone by the Titans' first game, because they have the bye, because of that extra bye week. They get that most of the pain, or if not all the pain, should be gone. The soreness should be gone, and all that kind of stuff. And to be honest with you, it's going along. My understanding is that it's going along with what they're saying, and that sources are telling me inside that right now, the King is all smiles, and that he is appears to be really happy to be back with his team and his teammates, going out there, leading them, talking with them, being around them all day, every day, that kind of stuff. So, it's really interesting to see how this plays out. But I think the King is going to be on his throne, and he's going to be sitting, looking down at all those defensive serfs and going, "Oh, I've been gone. And now it's time to seek some revenge out there on you guys." I think really Derrick Henry is going to be dominant in this playoff run. Absolutely dominant. That line's going to block just a little harder, a little more, because of Derrick Henry, because he's going to hold them to account if they don't. I think that that's going to bring some guys down in the box. That's going to bring some extra guys down in the box once they see that he's running the way he was before his injury. Those defensive coordinators are going to bring some guys down in the box. That little 3, 4, 5 yard area where they're going to try to stop him at all costs, which means our wide receiving core is going to be, really kind of man to man the whole time, one on one a whole lot. And they've got to win those one-on-ones. A.J. Brown can win those one-on-ones. And from what I saw in this previous game, Julio Jones finally looks like he can win some one-on-ones. He's still not, I still think that there's some issues there, but I think Julio is one of the guys who can go out there and win some one-on-ones. And Nick Westbrook-Akina, a huge catch to seal the game in the fourth quarter. I think that he's working out very well, and I think that we're slowly beginning to see what the Titans could be had they been healthy the entire year. And now, with the big, with the King back, it's going to be interesting. So this is going to be an interesting playoff run. I think the Titans are going to be in a prime position I don't see anyone out there that the Titans should be afraid of. And with the king back on the throne, I see a lot of things. You know, the king's back on his throne, and you got A.J. Brown out there just eating up corners. And then you got Julio on the other side who's making the corners look kind of silly at times. Then you got Nick Westbrook-Akina out there, man. NWI he's the kind of guy doesn't have blazing speed, but sometimes just gets open because, they're not going to roll a number 1 or number 2 corner over there to him. They're going to put him on number 3. And I think he can beat most number 3s in the NFL. I think he can beat most number 3 cornerbacks in the NFL. I really do. He's just that kind of a guy. So we're going to see how this fares out. But as always, you're going to tighten up, and Titans for Life always says, keep it real.